Community news for the global Filipinos. From your trusted, reliable, and seasoned correspondents in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and beyond. Your news, your story, your network. The Filipino Correspondent Network.
The committee heard already the arguments of both the proponent and those who are opposing the motion. This is with respect to the motion of the Honorable Ridon for the issuance of subpoena ad testificandum to SEC representative and ad duces tecum, subpoena duces tecum with respect to the GIS and audited financial statement of certain business establishments mentioned already by the Honorable Ridon. Since we have heard already the arguments of both the proponent and those who are against, we shall now proceed to vote. We are reminded that we are a collegial body. All decisions come from the majority. So the justice members are reminded to be ready to vote. Again, the motion is to issue subpoena ad testificandum to SEC representative and subpoena duces tecum with respect to the certified true copies of GIS and AFS of the business establishments mentioned already by the Honorable Ridon. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? There is an objection. Those who are in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. You may put down your hands. Those who are not in favor of the motion, please raise your right hand. Thank you. Those who abstain, please raise your right hand. That concludes our voting. We shall announce the result. With 14 votes in the affirmative, 2 in the negative, and 3 abstention. The motion is hereby declared granted. The committee secretariat is directed to issue the necessary subpoena ad testificandum to the representative of SEC and subpoena duces tecum for the production of GIS and AFS of the business establishments mentioned in the motion of the Honorable Ridon. So ruled. May we know if there is a representative of the respondent, Vice President Sara Duterte, to inform the committee about the necessity of issuing the compulsory processes with respect to the witnesses she wishes to present and the documents she wishes to present as well to the committee. The chair wishes to state for the record that despite the non-attendance or non-appearance of the Vice President and her counsel, in today's hearing, they are welcome to participate at any stage of our proceeding. That is in pursuit of due process which we accord to the respondent in this impeachment proceeding. Having said so, are there any other matters?
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Conghun first before the Honorable Marcoleta.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, for the purpose of our next hearing on April 14, 2026, the committee should consider adopting the sequence of the grounds for the third impeachment complaint and receive the evidence for both impeachment complaints jointly, considering that they may have in common evidence. I propose that for our hearing on April 14, the committee should determine the probable cause for the following grounds for impeachment. Number one, the Sabala complaint, the Vice President committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayal of public trust, malversation, graft, corruption, and other high crimes. The Cabrera complaint, the Vice President committed betrayal of public trust, graft, and corruption. Number two, for the Sabala complaint, the Vice President committed culpable violation of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by committing malversation, grafts, corruption, and other high crimes. The Cabrera complaint, VP Duterte committed graft and corruption, bribery, procurement irregularities, and command responsibility. Number three, that VP Duterte committed capable violations of the Constitution and betrayed the public trust by corrupting and bribing officials of the Department of Education. And for the Cabrera complaint, that the Vice President committed bribery, procurement irregularities related to corruption in the Department of Education. Madam Chair.
May we confirm if that is your motion already, the Honorable D.S. Conghon?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So there is a
move.
motion to adopt the sequence of topics already read by the Honorable D.S. Conghon for the purpose of our determination of probable cause.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable De Lima.
it was not quite clear to me which specific grounds indeed are to be first tackled for the April 14 hearing. The movant or the proponent actually made mention about culpable violation of the Constitution, betrayal of public trust. But which of these specific grounds? The first ground, I'm talking about the Cabrera, the Saballa et al. Complaint. The first ground is about the anomalous disbursement of confidential funds for the OVP. The second is anomalous disbursements of confidential funds for the DepEd. And the third ground is bribery and other graft and corruption. And those three grounds are actually covered by the 5 motions for subpoena that I put forward and already approved. So those witnesses, those resource persons, subject of the subpoena, will be tackling these first 3. Anomalous disbursement of confidential funds, OVP, anomalous disbursements of confidential funds, DepEd, and the bribery and other graft. So it was not clear to me the manifestation earlier of the proponent. Is he also referring to these grounds?
Yes.
The Honorable De Lima is asking if the proposed sequence of topics pertains to 1 confidential fund of DepEd, 2 confidential fund of OVP, and 3 bribery in DepEd.
First OVP, then DepEd, then bribery.
Yes, Madam Chair.
The Honorable D.S. Conghon confirmed to that, Honorable De Lima.
Thank you for the confirmation, because that is also the intended sequence insofar as the complainants are concerned in the Saballa et al. Complaint. Thank you, Madam Chair.
So can
Madam
we rule
Chair?
on the motion? The Honorable Rodriguez.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to be clarified. In the third complaint, there are 6 grounds where we have found, the committee has found the form, substance, and grounds sufficient. Also, the 5 grounds in the fourth complaint. How do we hear this? 6 grounds, third complaint, and 5 grounds of the fourth complaint. Are we going to go one by one for the third and then the fourth? We're going to mix, because ground number 1 is ground number 1 also of the fourth complaint. Ground number 4 of the fourth complaint is ground number 2 in the complaint. So are we going to mix them if they have the same subject matter, or we will go, because I'm not clarified on this, or we will go by grounds per complaint, Madam Chair? How do we go about this?
The way the chair understands with the proponent of the sequence of topics is that the allegations that pertains to the confidential fund of OVP, then DepEd, then bribery with the in the DepEd are taken together, allegation by allegation, the third impeachment complaint and the fourth impeachment complaint, so that we can receive jointly the evidence which will be submitted by the parties in relation to these three topics: confidential fund of OVP, confidential fund of DepEd, and then bribery in the DepEd.
Yes, joint.
After that, Madam Chair, what will be the next to be heard so that we will know the how we will go along with this hearing? So I understand three. That's fine because confidential funds is number one in the third complaint and number one in the second complaint or the fourth complaint. The second one, OBP, that is precisely ground number 2 and 3 of the third complaint, which are also part of the fourth complaint. And then, of course, the third one is the bribery. That is also the third and fourth complaint, and also the fourth and fifth complaint of the fourth. So how about the others? How are we going to go for the others? Or we go there once we finish the first three?
May we hear from the endorser
Yeah.
how they want it to be presented for the
Thank you,
purpose
Madam
of
Chair.
determination of probable cause?
For the moment, for today, we are only manifesting what we intend to present or tackle or discuss, or for the April 14 hearing. Those three grounds, those first three grounds under the third Sabalia et al. Complaint. And from there, we should be able to determine now and manifest for the record what should be the next ground to be tackled, if still necessary to tackle any of those other grounds. Thank you.
There is a pending motion to adopt the sequence of topics proposed by the Honorable D.S. Konghun. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is granted. The sequence of topics as proposed by the Honorable D.S. Konghun is hereby adopted.
Madam,
The Honorable Marcoleta.
thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, if you may I make a manifestation as regards to my observation on how the rules
You may proceed.
on how the rules were applied between the Marcos and the Duterte complaints. There
Chair.
appears to be
Madam
inconsistency
Chair.
The
in
Honorable
application
Point of
rules.
order. We, of course, respect
There's
the
a point
right.
of order, Honorable Marcoleta. We have to hear it first. The Honorable Dilima.
We, of course, respect the right of even a non-member to make any manifestation, some manifestations that are relevant to the issues at hand. Now, those matters have been tackled already, exhaustively discussed in the course of the proceedings for the determination in substance, sufficiency in substance, as well as the determination of sufficient grounds. That issue has been resurrected a few times already. And even the Honorable Chair has actually refuted that point, that there is no different treatment. And if there's any different treatment, it's because it's mandated or it's called for, necessitated by the specific facts of these cases. So there's no point further to further touch on this matter.
Madam
So
Chair.
I move that we do not allow
Madam
the
Chair.
Honorable Marcoleta to
With
press
all due
further.
respect to the Honorable Marcoleta, the point of order is sustained.
Madam Chair, may I appeal?
Please make sure that your manifestation is germane
Yes,
to
ma'am,
our
because-
current impeachment proceedings.
Because
Please be reminded
ma'am.
not to move back. We have
Yes,
to
ma'am.
move forward.
every now and then the issue of due process comes up, and we will always go back on the fair application of the rules between the Marcos and the Sara Duterte complaints. I'm just making an observation, Madam Chair, and I think I should not be precluded from
With all due
making my
respect,
observation.
Honorable Marcoleta, a point of order has been raised and the same has been sustained. So I hope we will conclude on our manifestation pertaining to the alleged double standard. please shift to other manifestations which are germane to our current discussion in this impeachment proceeding.
Okay, ma'am. May I proceed to what Congressman Rufus uh, made earlier regarding the nexus to impeachable ground?
That nexus pertaining to the motion for issuance of subpoena to the representative of SEC has been ruled upon as well, Honorable Marcoleta, with all due respect.
Okay, so I am precluded from making any manifestations as a member of the House? Is
It
that
is
it, Madam Chair?
precisely because the manifestations which are being raised are issues which have been ruled upon by the committee already.
Yes, ma'am, but due process prevails at any stage of the impeachment process. So, wala naman po sigurong masama sa
But please
manifestation.
confine your manifestations to the current subject matter of our impeachment proceeding. Please do not go back. The majority of the Justice Committee ruled already on the issue that you are raising. Let us respect the decision of the majority.
Yes, ma'am. Just a comparo between the two complaints, sana, if I may be allowed.
That is going back again to the issue of double standard. With all due respect, Honorable Marcoleta.
I defer to the authority of the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Just for the record, if the lawyers or the respondent is present in today's hearing, they are welcome to read to the committee the witnesses they intend to present for the purpose of the determination of probable cause. That is for the record. Now, if there are no other matters which the members of the Justice Committee wish to raise,
Madam Chair,
the Honorable De Lima.
one other matter. I think this committee needs to anticipate any eventuality that between now and the next scheduled hearing, which I understand is on April 14,
That's correct.
if certain incidents, motions, or requests are also filed between now and the next hearing, wouldn't it be proper for us, and I think it would be well within the prerogative of this committee, especially so that under House Resolution number 892, that authorized the committee to continue the conduct of impeachment proceedings, one matter or one action, power, or function that this committee can do or can exercise is conduct hearings and other proceedings related to impeachment complaints within its jurisdictions. So what if, Madam Chair, there would be further motions, requests, or incidents submitted or filed by any member of this committee? Wouldn't it be proper for us that this committee be allowed to hold meetings outside the scheduled hearing dates to discuss and act on subsequent motions, manifestations, requests, and such other incidents and matters that will be submitted for the committee's consideration? As with the hearings that we're conducting now, this should also be, of course, with notice to the parties and their counsels, and should be open to the public. I so move, Madam Chair, so that we don't have to wait, especially if these are urgent requests, we don't have to wait for the next hearing before this committee can act on those incidents, if any, only if there would be such subsequent incidents. Thank you.
There is a motion from the Honorable Laila De Lima to allow the committee to conduct meetings outside of this hearing. That is for the purpose of addressing urgent motions, manifestations, or any other matters relevant to the current impeachment proceeding. Do I hear a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
The same has been seconded?
My objection,
Objection?
because, we have 14, 21, and 29. Very clear that whatever is filed could be tackled on April 14. So it's not necessary that we will have additional hearings. We set this, it's in my calendar now. I still have the diary, which is not used by younger lawyers, but But I think we have set already 14 to 29. So let us just, that is, also a premature speculation that there may be motions. And all motions will be tackled when it is filed on April 14. Thank you, Madam Chair.
With that, then we shall proceed to vote. There is a
Chair,
motion.
Madam Chair,
The
just a
Honorable Tino.
clarificatory question.
This is your clarificatory
So
question.
distinction between meeting and hearing. So the meetings will, if I understand correctly, will still be open to the public, and they will still require quorum so that any motions and so on will be considered valid actions of the committee. Is that correct?
Let's hear from
Madam
the
Chair?
proponent.
Yes, Madam Chair, because that is only on the premise that there would be subsequent motions or incidents between now and the next scheduled hearing in anticipatory, or in case, or only in the eventuality that such incidents are submitted or filed. And it's a given that there would be a quorum, a quorum will be required, and that it will be open to the public. It's a given. But this is meeting, we can consider it a special meeting outside of the scheduled evidentiary hearings, which would start in April 14. That is my motion, Madam Chair, my point. Thank
Madam
you.
Chair.
Does that satisfy the Honorable Tino?
Madam Chair.
The Honorable Adjong.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, does the committee already have that mandate or authority to exercise calling for an emergency meeting should there be a need to do that without necessarily the committee adopting a resolution? That's number one. Number two, Madam Chair, is I do agree with Manong Rufus that there are already indicated dates for the committee to conduct the next committee hearings. And if we are to, again, anticipate, for example, that there will be an additional hearings for the committee to conduct, that would also indicate the need for this committee for a 3-day notice ruling, Madam Chair. So we don't actually know exactly when would be the additional between the interval, in the interval in between dates that have already been identified by the committee. So again, Madam Chair, if there's already that authority by the committee chairperson to exercise calling for an emergency meeting, then with all due respect to Congresswoman De Lima, there is no need for the committee to adopt such resolution.
I think this is only for the purpose of addressing urgent motions, pleadings, or manifestations that the motion of the Honorable De Lima is being raised. But nevertheless, that meeting to address the urgency will still be subject to the requirement of notice, hearing, as well as quorum, and the 3-day notice rule. No? So I think it will not harm our proceeding and even the pre-scheduled hearings on the 14th, the 22nd, and the 29th. No? So can we proceed to resolve the motion?
Again, my position, Madam Chair, with all due respect to Congresswoman De Lima, even if we don't adopt that resolution, the committee can already exercise that. It's already it's an inherent power of the committee to call for a special meeting.
Madam Chair, my point is, let's just be very clear about it. Because yes, under the House Resolution number 892, I mentioned earlier, may I just quote again? Resolved further, that during the recess of the House of Representatives from 21 March 2026 to 3 May 2026, the House Committee on Justice is hereby authorized to continue the conduct of impeachment proceedings and exercise powers necessary and incidental thereto in the same manner and with the same force and effect as if the House of Representatives were in session, including the following. 1, conducting hearings and other proceedings related to impeachment complaints within its jurisdiction. 2, setting, scheduling, and adjusting the calendar of hearings and other related proceedings. And there are 2 other matters like receiving, acting upon, and resolving pleadings, acting upon petitions, requests, motions. But my concern here only is that since we have predetermined dates of hearing already, which are for the evidentiary hearings, there might be, just anticipatory, so a standby authority, standby discretion, especially the chair, to hold or to call for a meeting outside of the regular scheduled hearings already in the calendar. Because one other aspect, as I cited earlier in the House Resolution number 892, setting, scheduling, and adjusting the calendar of hearings and other related proceedings during the period of recess. So this is just a standby authority, and to be very clear about holding other proceedings, meetings outside of the regular dates of hearing already predetermined. That is my point, for clarity, for orderly and efficient conduct of the proceedings. Thank you.
The argument actually of the Honorable Rodriguez and the Honorable Adjong is that that power of holding a meeting is already inherent in the committee. But I don't see nothing wrong about ruling on this motion so as for us to re-emphasize the authority of this committee to hold hearings to address matters with extreme urgency. So with that, would the Honorable Rodriguez and the Honorable Adjong reconsider their position with regards to the motion of the Honorable Dilima?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
We are okay with the motion.
yeah,
You are withdrawing your objection. How about the Honorable Adjong?
yeah, I'm not objecting actually. I'm just trying to avoid redundancy here. So
You
if
have
it's
no
already
objection.
inherent power, so there's no need for a resolution. But there's no objection, and I do understand the position of Congresswoman De Lima. Thank
With
you.
that, let me just reiterate, there's a motion from the Honorable Dilima to authorize the committee to hold meetings outside of these hearings. That is to address urgency. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, the motion is granted. If there are no other matters, I think it's past 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Madam
We've done a
Chair.
lot of things for today's hearing. The Honorable Percy Sendanya.
It has been a very productive day for us and for the Filipino people. I move to adjourn, Madam Chair.
There's a motion to adjourn or motion to suspend?
Let me withdraw my motion and reiterate motion to suspend, Madam Chair.
There is a motion to suspend our hearing today. Do I hear a second? The same has been seconded. Is there any objection? Hearing none, our hearing today is hereby suspended.
Community news for the global Filipinos. From your trusted, reliable, and seasoned correspondents in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and beyond. Your news, your story, your network. The Filipino Correspondent Network.